What is up, Cinders? Welcome back to Chicken Cindy's. Today we're going to talk about this Advent X group set, which the entire set cost about the exact same price as a GX Eagle cassette. Welcome, everybody. I'm Josh, and this is Chicken Cindy's, where we basically talk about anything bike-related. If it has two wheels, I feel like it's fair game. So, the Advent X, I have ran about 4 or 5 entire group sets. I think they're great for the price. I have always been very impressed with them. The derailleur is clutched. KMC 10-speed chains. It's just what I grab. And the crazy thing about this entire group set is you can get every piece of it for about $140. Now, why am I comparing this to the GX Eagle range? Because I feel as though the transmission is just obviously very expensive for a really nice group set. Don't get me wrong, I've installed several, I've ridden on a few as well, and they are very nice. But realistically, it's just not for everybody. So if we start to go down, basically the ladder of components in the sense of price, we get down to like NX and the GX. I think for the price difference between the NX and the GX is a better buy. But why would I compare these two? The main reason being is price and efficiency, okay? Your group sets are obviously wearable parts. And by that, what I mean is, as you get them brand new, over time they wear out and you have to re-buy components. So typically your derailleur and shifter is okay. So we're gonna be looking at the cassette, and then we're also going to be looking at the chains. If you compare GX compared specifically to like KMC 10 speeds as compared to the 12-speed GX chain, they're pretty similar in price. You can get these for around $20, $24. The GX is about $25, $30-ish, you know, and of course prices will always vary, you know, depending on what kind of coupons you have, things like that. Another really big positive part of this group set is if your local bike shop orders from QBP, it's just a really big warehouse where they get a lot of their parts and stuff. You can support your local bike shop by buying these. If you type in group set right now, Advent X group, on Amazon, you can get it for $120. Find the KMC 10-speed chain, right at $140, give or take, to your house in 2 or 3 days. I recommend going to your local bike shop instead and supporting them, of course. That's where I got this one, was Pilsen Pedal Sports here in town where I live. So you could absolutely do this. I was able to get all these from them, okay? Mentioning real quick, though, there is a big difference between this cassette and the GX cassette that SRAM makes. SRAM's GX cassette is XD driver hub, which is basically like a SRAM proprietary styled hub, where this is a Shimano HG, okay? If you're watching this video and trying to figure out which one to upgrade, most of my content, I try to do budget bike builds and upgrading budget builds, so you most likely will have a Shimano HG. There's not a lot of more budget-friendly bikes that come with the actual XD, and most budget bikes that are SRAM equipped will actually have the NX cassette, which is also an HG. So that is one thing you do need to check before purchasing any kind of new group set, okay? There's a big difference, all right? If you have XD, obviously you're gonna wanna go with GX and above to get the actual XD styled cassettes. But if you have Shimano HG, this is a terrific option for you. As mentioned a little bit ago, these are wearable parts, okay? So if you break a chain, the good thing is the chains are about the same price, okay? Over time, they will, you know, add up, that kind of a situation, but the chains are, in my opinion, a little bit of a wash. Now, a bigger one is obviously the cassettes. The microshift cassettes run around 40-ish, 50-ish, you know, again, depending on what kind of cells you find and things like that. Whereas the GX cassettes are around 140, okay? We're talking about almost a $100 difference on a part that you replace. If you ride a ton, you're gonna be replacing these between where you ride, how you ride, rocks, sticks, things like that, okay? And that's not even talking about, you know, if something happens to your derailleur and you got to get a new derailleur. Same thing. The derailleurs for the GX run like 100, 120-ish. These are around 40, 60. So, you know, $50, $60 difference. So in the sense of just, you know, replacing, it's nice because it's more budget friendly. What about real world use? As mentioned in the beginning of the video, I run about 4 or 5 different ones of these, okay? Clutch derailleur, setting it up has never been an issue. Some of the GXs now go up to 52 for the big one. This is a 48, so this is an 11 to 48. You still have plenty of range. It is a wide range cassette. And honestly, if the 48 is that big of a deal, you can change that with your front ring. Most likely you're running a 1x. You can experiment with this bigger or smaller cog if you want to go faster or easier for climbs. You kind of just play that by ear and see what you want to do. But for me, in the actual use, in the grand scheme of just like my experience with the Advent X, I've had terrific experiences. I have not had really any issues. I mean, I've not had one spontaneously combust. I mean, they're obviously not 100% bomb-proof, so in the sense, I mean, if you bash it on a rock, it's gonna break just like anything. So, I mean, just keep that in mind. But for me, I think it works great. I've not had any issues. To compare another budget-friendly one that's like this is the Deor, okay? The Shimano Deor group set. They're about head and head in price. But I just prefer Advent X. I've had a couple Deors. I mean, I've never really had any big issues with them, but at the end of the day, I just really like the micro shift better. The actual shifter has just these nice little rubber grommet pieces on it, and I think it just, you know, it grips really well and shifts great. It's crisp, it works fine. Now I'm going to kind of categorize people into two different groups here, okay? We're going to have the hobbyist who rides every so often, and then, you know, the person that is like racing in that kind of a situation, okay? Obviously, if you are racing and you're wanting like the best of the best, that kind of a situation, you're probably not going to even go with GX. You're obviously going to go more like transmission, that kind of a situation where, you know, you're getting the best of the best in the sense of just the way it works and functions, okay? With that comes a price. That's obviously very expensive. And like, if I recall, the cheapest rainbow cassette I could find, because of course, if you're buying that, you know, you might as well go blingy, was like $350 for the cassette. The chains are like 80, 90 bucks, give or take, maybe 70-ish, like 70 to 80. I'll put a picture here. But I mean, now we're talking very expensive, okay? Now, realistically, if you have the money, buy that stuff. But if you're just looking for a great performing upgrade to most likely your stock group set, Advent X is a great option. I have always been very happy with it. And as you break parts or as parts wear out, it's just a great option in the sense of money well spent. I mean, you're getting just a very good, functioning, working group set with great range. Not everybody is going to agree with this video, and that's absolutely fine. There's also going to be some people who will be, this is crap and you shouldn't buy it. They're most likely trying to make justification for their purchase of the $1,000 group set they bought, which, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But this works fine, and there's no reason to tear it down just because it's not what you want or what you like. That's okay. I've ridden pretty much everything. I mean, transmission works fine. The Deor works fine. At the end of the day for me, and I think for a lot of us, this is just a much more reasonable option. The longer you ride, the more you're gonna break, things like that. And as you start to replace parts, money's gonna add up. So, really in conclusion for me in this video is, I wanted to give you guys a good option that isn't going to empty your wallet, with quite a bit of real world experience in the sense of how I've used it and how it's worked for me. And I just truly think if you are wanting to upgrade to a nicer group set, and maybe you're trying to be a little bit more money conscious, take a look at the Advent X. And if you have a local bike shop, stop in and ask them if they carry this or if they can order it for you. So other than that, guys, if you have any questions specifically over this group set, I'm probably gonna be putting this on my Ozark Trail flat bar. Gonna be doing an upgrade video here soon. I'll probably do a how-to, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you have the Advent X, let me know how your experience has been, because a couple group sets I have, they've all been really good. So other than that, hope you guys take care and have a wonderful day.